Jeremy Portnoy, an investigative journalist with Open the Books, is joining us live to weigh in on this. Jeremy, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Megan. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Let's talk numbers. How much money did the state make from the bridge last year and the tunnel as well?
Yeah, so last year, the tunnel, they collected almost $108 million. That's the most ever. The bridge earned $57 million. That's the most since they lowered the toll back in 2015. So we went through the past decade of financial statements. Now we're up to $554 million in 10 years for the Bay Bridge and $841 million for the tunnel.
Before we get to where that money is going, what do you think contributed to that? Just more people traveling post-pandemic, or why do you think we're seeing those numbers of people using those areas?
Yeah, we see it's just more people traveling. We've seen that increase year to year. Not huge jumps, but it is increasing steadily each year, especially on the Bay Bridge, where we're now, close to where we were before those tolls were lowered.
That's pretty incredible. And when we talk about more people, we see the more money there. We mentioned that money is going to help to go towards some safety guidelines there on the bridge. What are you hearing that will do?
Right, so we're in that 6-year plan from the State Department of Transportation, and it was originally supposed to cost $16.4 billion, but they keep adding things to it. So, of course, we had those safety improvements. Just last week, the state announced for the Bay Bridge that's going to cost $160 million. Then, of course, once the 6-year plan ends in 2027, they plan on increasing the tolls again to help fund all this.
What are your thoughts on how productive this is? Is this good news for the state of Maryland, or is it concerning when we look at increasing tolls once again?
Yeah, I mean, if you look back to how much this bridge and tunnel cost in the first place, back when they were first built, obviously a long time ago, but it was in the $150 million to $200 million range. So those bonds have now been paid off several times over. So now all this money is just being reinvested into the infrastructure. Obviously important to keep the safety going, but then sometimes they're also spending tens of millions to repaint it. That's money that could possibly be used for toll relief.
When we talk about safety, obviously here in Baltimore, that is extremely important given what we've seen with the Key Bridge last year. Is all of this going towards making sure that it is structurally okay?
Yeah, that's at least this plan that was announced last week, that $160 million, that's entirely for safety. The state is saying it was already up to their standards, but, there were some independent reviews that came out finding some weaknesses. So, of course, Maryland especially wants to be careful.
Very interesting. Well, Jeremy, we always appreciate the updates, and thank you for those numbers.
Of course. I'll see you next week.
Okay.